Hey, happy Saturday. This is Minding Your Business with the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chris Spiker of Antelope Valley Florist. Board operator Kenneth Guzman. Usually there's a woohoo.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
And co-host Aaron Goldstein, Goldstein Digital.
Hey,
Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning.
Hey, who's our first guest today?
Our first guest today is Gus Camacho from Camacho Auto Sales.
Yay! Crowd goes wild in the background.
I don't think we've ever had a cheerleader on the show before. Gus, how are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for having me on the show. Appreciate it.
Hey, you're a busy guy because you get a lot done, and you have a lot of stuff going on.
I am. You know, I've got the dealership, Camacho Auto Sales. We have Camacho Mitsubishi, a new car store that we purchased 3 years ago.
3 years?
Yeah, 3 years. We've got a finance company that's called King of Credit Financial, and we have a dollar rent-a-car franchise. So yeah, I stay pretty busy.
That's what the crown is about, because you're the king of credit.
Correct. So, you know, there's a little story to the crown. This is going back probably about 20 years ago. I started thinking about what is it that we do the best. You know, why is it what makes our business different than anyone else's? And for those of you out there that are business owners, this is marketing 101. You know, you really need to make sure you position yourself as an expert in something. And so when I looked at it, I said, well, what are we experts at? And one of the things that we're experts at is financing. We have our own finance company. We also use dozens of other lenders and credit unions and banks. So we're able to hit whether you've got, you know, deep subprime credit, which is usually someone that's credit challenged, all the way up to prime customers that have super good credit and rates that fluctuate all the way in between, you know, all the way down to as low as 1.49% for the good credit customers. But going back to the marketing,
okay. So
thinking of what are you an expert at? So I started thinking, well, what kind of a figure is an expert? And the king is usually an expert. So that's where I came up with the idea of king for King of Credit. And then we thought about, well, what kind of mascot should we have? Well, what's the animal in the animal kingdom that's the king of the animal kingdom?
It's the lion.
It's the lion. So if you see our lion running around out there, or you've seen our lion when we had our big grand opening at both of our more recent stores, we actually had a lion brought down from the MGM studio, which was kind of cool. But yeah, it's the whole King of Credit and the lion and our mascot. So it all goes with the idea of being an expert in something.
Yeah, you're good at it. How many locations?
We have 4 independent used car lots. And then we have 1 new car store, so with 5 locations altogether.
That's what I always thought, is if you had a store on every corner, you could do pretty good.
Yeah, it tends to work out that way. That's what Walgreens does, right?
Right, because you can't say, hey, drive 15 miles to my store. You say there's one within 3 blocks of you.
Exactly, right around the corner.
And even though you're paying all that rent, that still seems to be a good...
It does. I think times have changed a little bit where, you know, as we're going, and we were just talking about this before the show started, I think most businesses now are looking at consolidating and being able to have a smaller footprint and a bigger online footprint. And I see ourselves doing that as well too. But for right now, the different locations are convenient for our customers and it works for us.
Marketing, I'm thinking about the TV commercials.
Mm-hmm.
Those are huge. I mean, they're goofy.
They're goofy, and that's another thing too. You know, you got to think outside of the box, and you got to be different. If we ran a normal manufacturer type of a commercial with a car running on the road and blah 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 blah, you know, Labor Day sale, you know, come by kind of deal.
Right.
You know, it goes just one ear out there, in one ear and out the other. But when you add an element of comedy to it and goofiness, and some people hate them, some people love them, but it will make you watch it.
I got a feeling that you're aiming at a demographic too. You're aiming at people that like entertainment, or they don't want to know a price on a specific car. Yeah,
and we are. We're branding our name. Not trying to brand that we're goofy, but just branding that people
Did I
recognize.
use the wrong word?
No,
sorry.
no, not at all. No, not at all. But just branding that we're different and unique, and we are fun. You know, one of our slogans in the past has been a fun place to buy a car. And the way you see the commercials where we're silly and goofy, that's the way we are too. Our employees love to have fun. They love to make sure that car buying experience is a fun experience.
Right.
Because it's scary. You know, when you go out, it's just like, you know, going to the doctor, going to the dentist, going to buy a used car. I think it probably falls around the same categories. It's a scary experience for a lot of people. And so we try to make that experience a fun experience for the customer so that when they come in, they don't leave scared, or they don't come in scared. They come in and they're willing to have a good time and come in and learn about us and find out what it is we have.
How did you get Ginger involved in all of this?
I married her. Yeah. I gave her a long-term contract, a marriage contract. No, it's my wife, and she goes by Ginger in the commercials. A long time ago, it was hard to track marketing, so we used the name Ginger to track the marketing. But her actual name is Rhonda, and that's my wife. And we started using it a long time. Now there's a bunch of different ways to track your marketing, and that's not necessary. But we've been doing commercials for 25 years, so it's not something we just started doing recently. And she's been in the commercials for a long time. We won't say she's been in the commercials for 25 years, but she's been in the commercials for a long time.
Tried to get her on the radio show. She said, "No, you're the guy."
You know, she's the more outgoing of the two of us, but she's a little bit more low key when it comes to this kind of stuff.
When you opened the Mitsubishi dealership 3 years ago, that was quite an honor for the corporation to choose you.
It was, and I was really blessed to have been picked by Mitsubishi, and we were just excited about being able to pick up the product. Mitsubishi makes one of the best vehicles in the world. Their vehicles come with a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Our service department, this is probably the negative side about it, is our service department is not busy. And they're not busy because the cars don't break down. They just keep running. But they are very, very good vehicles. And they're a price point, too. They're a perfect price point for the Antelope Valley because they're very, very affordable. You're not walking in and paying, $40,000, $50,000 for a vehicle. Not at all. I mean, these are vehicles that start down right a little bit above 10 grand, $12,000 range. And they go up to, I think our most expensive one is probably going to be somewhere around $35,000. So they're very, very affordable.
A lot of these cars are going on the commute. They're heading right on the freeway every morning.
They sure are, and that's the one nice thing about the Mitsubishis is that first of all you got a long warranty on it. You got a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and the other thing is that they're very gas efficient. Like for example, the Mirages get anywhere from 40, I think it's either 43 or 44 miles per gallon, wow, which is perfect for a commuter. Yeah. And they just came out with a little bit of a larger version of the Mirage called the G4. It's a 4-door sedan. It's very nice.
That just about doubled your workload, didn't it? You were already banking and issuing credit and used cars and finding used cars to sell.
It did, but it was also something that we had thought of doing. And I'll tell you why. We have a lot of customers that come to us, and they come to us and they're credit challenged, and we give them, and no one else will finance them, and we do provide financing for them, and they pay us good. And they pay us good, and then we're able to upgrade them into a newer vehicle. Well, now we're able to upgrade them into a new vehicle. And every month, there's probably a good 15 to 20 people that have been paying us really good that come in and we're able to sell them a brand new vehicle. And that's a big deal to go from coming in with credit challenges where no one will finance you, and then next thing you know, you're driving away in a brand new car. But it does take some work, and it takes work on the customer. The customer has to pay good. And we have a lot of great folks out there that have had some credit challenges. They come to us, and we go out there and do something that no one else does, which is to get them financed. And they turn around, and they make their payments on time, and they come back and they drive away in a brand new car. So it's a pretty neat thing to see.
What a neat idea! We only have a couple of minutes left, but I kind of wanted to ask you about where did you come up with the idea. But first, I wanted to talk about your dad. Great story.
Great story. Immigrant family. So both myself and my brother were born here in the Antelope Valley. But my parents are from Mexico. And my dad came in the late 60s. And his first job wasn't a car dealership. He came in very educated. He went to college in Mexico, but he wanted a better opportunity. And he came to the U.S. and was working out at the grapes in Paso Robles, actually picking grapes. And here you have an educated person, going and picking grapes. But he saw the opportunity that this country had, and he worked his way up to saving some money up. And it's a long story, too long for the show, but it's definitely more than 3 minutes. So we'll have to tell that story later. But the bottom line is that he worked really hard, saved up some money, and at one point was able to open up the car lot on a little dirt lot with a trailer that was chained up to the telephone pole so they wouldn't steal it at night, and 10 vehicles. So that was the start of Camacho Auto Sales, and that was back in 1980.
And so was there a little Gustavo around there you were sweeping or something?
I was. Little Gustavo, that's me. I was out there cleaning the cars, cleaning the toilet, because we had one toilet for everyone to use, one toilet, making sure there was fresh toilet paper in there every day. And but my job was mostly cleaning the cars and helping around and cleaning the trailer. And that's how we got started. My brother was there doing it as well too, and my mom. And it's a pure, totally family business, and it still is. My wife works at the dealership. My kids work there. My brothers work there. So it's family owned and operated, and we're there. We're there every day of the week, working hard.
Amazing. So, Dad got you to come in, and but he left on vacation for 3 months, and the rest is.
It's kind of a funny story because I graduated from college. I went to Pepperdine University, got my business degree, and when I came back, he said, I'm going to go on a vacation. He never came back. He just never came back. And he's still, my dad's still around. He's healthy, but he's not involved in the business. He handed it over to me and said, "You go ahead and run it." So, which was kind of a good, unique opportunity for myself because it's very difficult for families to pass business on
right.
from one generation to the next. But I was very fortunate that my dad had the confidence that I could take over the business and grow it.
He gave you the basics, and then he got out of the way.
And he got out of the way, exactly.
Hey, is Camacho hiring?
We are always hiring. We're always looking for great salespeople and technicians. You don't have to be experienced to be in sales, but to be a technician, we do look for some kind of a mechanical background. But we're always looking.
And you mentioned finance, but if people walk in with cash, will you sell them a car?
Oh, of course,
okay.
Of course, yeah. We have a lot of people that come in and they pay cash and buy the vehicles cash.
Well, your main showroom now is over at the Auto Mall, Palmdale Auto Mall.
Yeah, that's our corporate office, so we run the operation from there. And the other stores are all satellite store sales only.
Mitsubishi's right across the street.
Mitsubishi's right across the street, and they have their own business office and sales team and service. And we do service all makes and models, not just Mitsubishi's. So, all vehicles.
Well, Gus, thank you very much for being a member of the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. Thanks for being an important member of the community.
My pleasure.
And stick around, we're going to talk a little bit more.
Sounds great.
Talking with Gus Camacho, the king of credit. Thank you. And we're back. This is Minding Your Business with the Lancaster Chamber of Commerce. I'm Chris Spiker of Antelope Valley Florist, and my co-host, Aaron Goldstein. Aaron! We're still with Gus Camacho, aren't we?
Yep, Gus Camacho from Camacho Auto Sales.
Yay! Woo! Woo!
Yeah!
With your own cheers.
Yeah.
Well, it
the
does
crowd.
go well. So in this portion of the program, we're going to just talk about community. What do you think about living in the Antelope Valley?
I love the Antelope Valley. I was born and raised. I went to school out here. For all of those of us that went to Yucca Elementary and Juniper Junior High, that was me.
Wow.
Went to Paraclete High School, and then I moved away. And here's where people are going to be shocked, but moved away to go to Pepperdine. I lived in Malibu for a couple years, and people were like, "Gus, that's crazy. How can you live in Malibu and want to come back to the Antelope Valley?" Well, let me tell you, I love the Antelope Valley. I'd rather be here than anywhere else. It's one of these, such a great community that anywhere you go, you're bound to run into somebody that knows you. When I was living in Malibu, I'd go to different places, and there was nobody knew who the heck I was.
Yeah.
Yes, you're just another stranger. But out here, it's a great community. There's a lot of great people. I think people are passionate about what they do and about living here, and they really try to do what's best. You can see by all the great organizations that exist in our community, and the cities too. I think the cities do a good job in trying to connect the cities to the community and trying to make the Antelope Valley the best place to live.
It is a great place to live. You can be a big fish in a little fish bowl here.
You sure can, and that's what makes this place special.
So you went to school, high school at Paraclete?
Yes, I sure did.
And then you used the same Letterman's jacket when you went to Pepperdine.
Yeah, they both had P's in them, so they worked perfect.
Somebody told me that you learned so much at Pepperdine that you could look at a P&L, profit and loss statement for a business, and just totally dissect it.
Yeah, I did. I majored in business, so when I got, and that is true. When I got out of school, I was able to take a look at our financials and take a look at them and see what things could be changed. But I will tell you that the vast majority of the experience is hands-on experience. I think college education is super important. I think you learn a lot of the great basics. A lot of the stuff that I learned in college, I was able to bring back to our business. Marketing, I majored in business, but I minored in marketing. And there's a lot of great marketing things that I use, the basis to the marketing that I use today, that came from the college classes that I took. But the hands-on experience by far beats everything else. I've always thought of this, that college opens up your mind. It allows you to learn to learn things, to be able to have a big environment and not look at the small picture but look at the big picture. And the experience, the business experience, is what makes you strong.
When you were going to Pepperdine, did you know you were coming back to the Antelope Valley?
You know, I didn't. I went there and...
You're thinking IBM or...
Actually, I was thinking of going to law school. When I went there, my thought was I was going to go to law school when I graduated. And I actually got an opportunity to go to law school with scholarship money. And it was offered to me. But at the time, my dad said, hey, listen, I'm getting tired and I kind of want to retire. You want to come back and run the business, you can do that. Or if you want to go to college, you can, or to law school, you can. But if you go to law school, there's a chance that I might sell the business. So he said, why don't you give it a shot, try it for a year, and make a decision then, and put off law school for a year. And I did, and I'm glad I did.
No regrets?
No regrets whatsoever. Yeah, no regrets.
So what are you involved in the Antelope Valley? What aren't you involved in?
Oh gosh,
what are some of your big projects, some of the things that you...
You know, I've sat on a lot of boards over the years. I would say a good 12 boards, maybe a little bit more. Right now I sit on the AV Board of Trade. I sit on the Sheriff Boosters, the Antelope Valley Sheriff Boosters. I'm a member of our Rotary Club, Lancaster West Rotary. I also sit on, I'm a fair director for the Antelope Valley Fair Board. I'm trying to think of all the things I do. I sit on some non-community stuff, but they also take up some other boards as well too. I'm actually sit on the National Advisory Board for Mitsubishi. There's 8 of us that represent all the dealers in the country. So I do that, and then I'm also the president of our National Independent Dealers Association for the state of California. So I stay pretty busy with all the things. Here locally in the Antelope Valley, though, the one project that I'm working on the most is the Fair Board. You know, making recommendations and helping out and kind of being able to see the long-term goals for the fair. And they do a really great job over there, Dan Jacobs and the staff, and it's I'll tell you, a lot of people don't know about the fairgrounds, but
it's not supported by the state anymore.
It's not supported by the state. They're their own organization. They're profitable, and it is a humongous task. The fair itself, they have hundreds and hundreds of volunteers at the fairground. And being able to coordinate the whole thing is incredible. When I first became a member of the Fair Board, I did not realize how much work was involved in those fairgrounds. I mean, it's if as complicated, if not as more complicated as my business. I mean, there's just tons of stuff going on. It's amazing, and they do a good job. They do a very good job.
Dan Jacobs still having fun? We're going to keep him around for a while?
Yeah, he's still having fun. Yeah, he's a good guy.
We were talking about the Antelope Valley Board of Trade. They have their Outlook Conference coming up the end of February. You got to get there early.
Got to get there early. Great event. You know, it's probably the best, if not one of the best, business events that occur. And if you're a business owner, you need to be at the Outlook Conference. I go every year. There's so much to learn. You get a lot about learning about what's going on in our Antelope Valley and what's going on in the economy in general. And I'll tell you that those economists that they bring, that the board brings out every year, they are incredible, and they're right on. I mean, I don't know if you remember, Chris, but the last couple of years, you know, the report these guys come up with on where the economy is heading, they're always right on. I mean, and so it's if you're, as a business owner, one of your main job duties is to forecast your future. And that's what I do in our company. You do a lot of things. You do a lot of the daily operations. But the moment that you're spending all your day doing daily stuff, you're not going to grow. You're just not going to grow, and you're going to find yourself heading in the wrong direction and possibly out of business. As a business owner, you have to always be looking ahead. And that's why it's important that you always spend some time looking ahead. And going to things like this, like the Outlook Conference, it's important. You go there and you're able to see kind of where the economy is. You look to see where is there opportunities for my business in the future. So I highly recommend you go to the Outlook Conference. It's not expensive, and it's a great event.
Sometimes they even tell you things that actually happen.
Exactly.
We've been on some lobbying trips with the Board of Trade, and you're way ahead of the curve. You learn things before they happen, before anybody knows they're going to happen. And I like the connections, the people you meet there.
there's a lot of great business owners and community leaders that are part of that AV Board of Trade.
What do you do with Paraclete? You must be on the Parent Teachers Association, or
I hope.
Are you in the
I
magazine?
hope no one. I'm in the magazine. I hope no one from Paraclete is on listening in right now. But I should be more involved in.
You
Paraclete.
don't do anything?
Oh my gosh, I
You
should.
can't
Right
get
here,
away-
I'm an alumni, and
You
I
can't
and
get
I
away
should.
with that. Let's see if your picture's
Yeah,
in here.
well, I've got. I do donations.
Let's look for the donors page.
Yeah,
Oh
donors,
my goodness!
I'm in there.
Look
I'm in
at
the
how
donors
big your
page.
name
There
is.
we go. I will tell you what I do at Paraclete though is I've got my kids going there. I've got 2 of my kids are currently at Paraclete. I've got one that graduated from Paraclete, and I've always been a big supporter. It's an incredible school. I think the education in the Antelope Valley is really good. I know Gina over at the Westside School District, and I'll tell you they do an incredible job. But the Paraclete is a very, very good school. Highly recommend anyone that's got a kid going to high school that they go check it out. I know I saw a banner just the other day that they had some kind of an open house coming up, or they might have just had it.
So it's a Catholic school.
It's a Catholic school, but you don't have to be Catholic. I went to school there, and I graduated from there, and religion is never pushed on you. You do take religion classes, but it's an open view of what the Catholic religion is about, and other religions as well too.
Great school and very involved in the community.
Yes, yeah, very.
And they keep me on their list, so I think that's a good thing.
I think as long as you're donating, you're going to be on a lot of lists there, Chris. And Chris does a lot of great stuff for our community as well too. I see your flowers all over the place.
That's what this radio program became, because Anna Zarley was doing it. She was doing a great job.
Mm-hmm.
But you figure out how to cut costs at the Chamber of Commerce, and Anna being a staff member, I'm going, we need a volunteer. And they said, thank you.
You raise your hand and you end up you come up with an idea, you end up being the one that volunteers,
Man,
right? Yeah.
So much for any more criticizing. Huh? So we have to find 3 chamber members to interview every week. And then I thought, it was Jim Greenleaf that said, you need some bumper music. We need to make this show a little more professional. And then, hey, why don't we videotape it so it's up there forever?
Yeah, great idea. I have to mention one other thing too, because if not, I'm going to get in a lot of trouble. And that's Lancaster West Rotary.
Oh yeah.
If you're a Rotarian, you've got to always mention you're a Rotarian, or else they'll find the heck out of you at the next meeting.
They will find you either way, Gus.
But I will tell you that if you're not a Rotarian, you really should look into it. Great organization. They do a lot of stuff for the Antelope Valley. There's several Rotary clubs. Lancaster West Rotary is the one that I happen to be in. And I happen to believe it's the best one because I'm in it.
Boy, they are the most active.
But they are super active, and a lot of great community leaders in that organization. So if you really want to give back to the community, and that's the reason why I joined Rotary. I get asked for donations from all different places and all different organizations, but I wanted to join an organization where I actually could participate and give back, and Rotary has done that for me.
Now, you can't just walk into Rotary and say, I want to be a member.
No, you have to have a sponsor. So the best thing to do is you can go to LancasterWestRotary.org, I believe is their website, and you can go in there and tell them that you're interested in the membership, and they'll reach out to you. But you do have to be sponsored.
But if you're sponsored by Gus Camacho, you're in. You're in like crazy.
So they might not let you in.
And the avenues of service in Rotary: youth, community, club, international.
Yes.
How about
Not bad. Not bad.
Yeah,
Not
for
bad.
a past president.
Not bad for a past president. Yeah.
Amazing group, and the Antelope Valley is full of groups like that.
There is, yeah. Yeah, whether you're the Kiwanis, whether it's the Knights of Columbus, there's just so many different great organizations out there that do a lot of good for our community.
Did he say 30 seconds?
Now he did.
Well, Gus Camacho, I wanted to tell you that you and your company are AV Nice. And,
Well, thank you.
I think the first time I met you, you were involved in the AV Hispanic Chamber.
Yes.
And
yes.
we'd have mixers and meetings that were so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, what a cool guy.
Yeah, well, thank you. I've been part of the Hispanic Chamber. I've been part of the Antelope Valley, which is our Lancaster Chamber. I was on their board of directors for some years. I've been involved with the colleges. A lot of great stuff.
Gus Camacho, Camacho Auto Sales, thank you very much.